Getting domains was slow, Doma changing the game. One bridge, one standard, now the systems move the same. Registrar stay central, keep the trust and control. DNS and compliance, still they play the key role. Traded on chain, let new markets arise. Domain value unlocked, welcome to Domain Fi.
Welcome to Doma OnAir. I'm Cap, joined today by Andriy Khvetkevych. I probably butchered that, but did my best. Joining us all the way from Austin, Texas, by way of Ukraine. Andriy is the co-founder of NicNames, which is an ICANN accredited registrar operating with over 20 years in the domain space and internet infrastructure. NicNames is built to bridge traditional DNS domains with tokenization, NFTs, and Web3 naming, domains that work on the regular internet and on-chain. He's known the Doma and D3 team for years throughout his domain and infra circuit. NicNames sits at the registrar layer. Doma sits at the protocol layer, and this episode connects those two views. He actually was on Doma OnAir when we were live at Dominion. And while we've been fortunate to have several domain OGs and certainly qualifies as a domain OG, our first guest from the registrar side. So excited to get into that a little bit, a little different perspective, but welcome. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Hi, Gab. Hi, everyone. Thank you for inviting me. And yeah, we met on Doma, on Dominion in Las Vegas. It was pretty cool conversation. And hopefully today I will bring some cool stuff again.
Yeah, no, I'm sure you will. Just having the chance to meet with you out there briefly and talk a little bit pre-show. I mean, I've been blown away by all the talent, not just on the D3 team, not just internally, but their connections throughout the industry. It really, to me, is insanely impressive, second to none. From my perspective, I know I'm newer to the industry, but just in any industry I've been in, like to have such a collection of leaders and real movers and shakers, so to speak, it's really impressive. So do you mind if we maybe start there before we jump into NicNames and all that you've built? How did you come across Fred or the D3 team, the Doma team? Do you mind like taking us back through that relationship and maybe how it's evolved over the years?
Yeah, actually, I didn't know Fred before. So we met first time maybe 4 or 5 years ago online on a casual conversation about domain tokenization because we figured that one of our partners, Identity Digital, they introduced us together because they figured that we both work in the same about the same project about the domain tokenization. And when we had conversation, we basically had the same ideas to bring tokenization to the ICANN accredited registrars. And I was impressed with that conversation. It was pretty cool and it was exactly what we were thinking about. And that was first connection with Fred. And a little bit later, Fred said, oh, we just raised a first round and we invited first registrars. And we were the first, basically, who started integrating with Doma protocol. And we started doing that just because our vision was aligned together. So we wanted the same thing, because if one registrar creating tokenization for their clients internally, it's working only internally for one registrar. So if this is the protocol for all registrars and any registrar can connect to this protocol, in this case, we expand in the market. We have more transactions. We have multiple different clients, different portfolios could be brought to the on-chain, and it's not locked on one registrar. So this was my vision and was Fred's vision. So that's why we connected and we started working together.
I love it. Maybe even rewind a step further. Then where did tokenization come from? What set you on this path? This vision of bringing hundreds of millions of domains and turn them into real world assets by tokenizing them and bringing them on chain. What inspired that? Like, do you also have a deep crypto background, or how did that all come together?
Yeah, I worked with some crypto projects before, and I realized at some point that smart contracts, it's a best tool that can replace escrow services. So basically, there was one problem. Like when you buy or selling your domain, you have to use escrow service, and escrow service usually is slow. Sometimes it's even not safe, even if it's escrow service, because once I sent like $50,000 wire to the buyer, and then that buyer didn't reply for next week, like for 7 days. And then they send me, but after if he finally replied, he sent me the out code via just unsecured email. So that was like, what the hell, right? So that was very bad experience. And after that, I'm like, okay, we need to fix that. And one of the ways how to fix that is to tokenize your domain, put it to sale, look into the smart contract. And when money arrived on chain, smart contract unlocking my domain, and I'm an owner, or I'm a seller. So as a seller, I'm getting crypto immediately, and as a buyer, I'm getting domain immediately without anything else. So it's a perfect tool for buyers and sellers, so that replacing escrow. And we already have this with Doma protocol.
Not to derail us, but I mean, everything you just said makes perfect sense, almost too much sense, to where I even get thinking, okay, yeah, this is a no-brainer for domains. I then wonder, I mean, smart contract, bringing almost any digital assets being transferred, makes more sense to do it on chain as far as escrow. Like, they all have it. I would imagine any digital asset probably has a very similar, escrow challenge, right? Like there's a trust layer, and instead of, trust me, bro, I'm going to send you the money, simply locking it in, utilizing the technology and doing it by way of a smart contract just makes both sides safer, more comfortable, knowing what they're going to get, both the asset they acquired, as well as, and on the seller side, get the funds, for the asset they sold. Like, just makes sense. I'm almost, it makes me, hearing you speak, and that, what was the kind of the origination, or what sent you down this path. It's like, man, I wonder, I'm still kind of in shock the deeper I get, like how this didn't happen faster. And then, secondly, like, I wonder what other digital assets need assistance with escrow. I guess, like, speaking of happening faster, when was your first aha moment? When did you start going down the path, hey, this is smart contracts, blockchain tech can be a great solution for the trust issue in escrow?
Like, before actually domain names, I was thinking about locking in intellectual property on chain, because chain also a good way to lock in your intellectual property, like copyright, for example, because copyright appearing when you created your podcast, when you created your book, anything. But the problem is to prove that you created that something on that date, right? And I'm also a patent attorney. So as a patent attorney, I'm like, okay, how we can prove it in the court? Okay, we can put just any text, anything on chain. We can put it publicly or encrypted, both, because for if you register in your copyright traditional way, it's always open. Yeah, so on chain it could be encrypted, and you can use that content to prove in court that it was placed on chain on that date with your name and with your content. So that was my first thing that we were working on before putting all this functionality on chain for domain names. And that was my aha moment at that point, because wow, this works perfectly for copyright claims. Like, it's amazing. And later we started working with domain names, and so my second aha moment was at that moment when, like, okay, on chain smart contracts can help me to be more safe. So this was the second moment. And yeah, it's blockchain is amazing technology, but it's a bit complicated for regular users, and it's another problem that we trying to solve. Like on NicNames, we trying to put everything the way that client just have to click few buttons and done. It's tokenized, or it's detokenized or it's transferred, so without any complications. Even if you don't have your own wallet, we have also custodial wallets, for example, that so customer don't have to even think about it. Yeah,
I love it. I do want to get in. We will get into more details. I got some questions regarding nicknames, but before we go into more detail on nicknames and all you're building is one of the first ICANN accredited registrars that's both natively Web2 and Web3. Just some other kind of like background questions we like asking most of our guests. This, kind of some, have a little bit of fun. But talking back to the domain side, I know in addition to nicknames, you've been in the domain space and talking IP. What is the weirdest domain you've ever owned or registered on behalf of a customer?
Interesting question. Weirdest domain. I always work with beautiful domains. I don't know which one is weird domain. I can't recall weird domains. I always was working with the beautiful, short, expensive domain names, and yeah. So maybe some domains I was registering in some weird domain zones, like
Okay.
.si that was recently just like wherever some SI, but now it's exploding like domain AI. Yeah. So and actually we just connected nicknames to .si, and we will start selling it like probably next week. But before, like I had registration in .si through some like other partner, and I was thinking like, I don't know why someone needed, but now this domain costs like $500,000.
Wow. It's interesting. So why is .si popping off now? It's Sylvania, is that right? Is it the
I don't even. It's some islands. It's some islands, I think. But why it's popular? Because people started using it as super intelligence.
Oh, interesting. It's wild, man. That just wild how one of these TLDs becomes, with AI and the growth of AI, and then now super intelligence, they take on entirely new meanings. And never thought about that. And it's my first time hearing .si, but now that I hear it, I'm probably going to start seeing it everywhere.
And as I said, like next week we'll start selling it on NicNames, and we're expecting pretty big traffic because domain investors, they right now looking for good registrars like to work with, because domain.si right now available not everywhere, and registrars like starting connecting it because they see new demand for domains.si. So yeah, it's very cool, like how it's evolving.
My brain's already like, okay, what .si domains do I need to go get now? So you haven't owned any weird domains per se, or none that jump out. What about a domain that you regret selling, or maybe one that you didn't buy when you had the chance?
Yeah, I regret selling one domain that was moto.ai. So I had motos, like Motorola, Moto, or Motors or whatever. And I put it on Sedo market with a buy now button, and I forget about it. And it was bought for a very low amount, and I had to confirm it because I put it as a buy now. If I would not confirm it, I would ruin my trust on Sedo, and I have a pretty big portfolio there. And I decided to sell it. To transfer this domain, even if it was not that expensive that I wanted, but it was still a good deal. Like, why not? But I regret it. Yeah.
Yeah, that moto.ai, I could see how that would be a premium one, and some potential big buyers in that one. What about from the registrar side? Do you ever see domains expiring and think, we should scoop these up?
Yeah, we're actually working with a couple companies who like sweeping all these domains, like the expiring domains. So it's mostly SEO companies. We have a couple contracts, and they analyzing our expiring domains, and they bidding for them. So basically, minimum bid is $100. But if it's a beautiful name, if it has a lot of backlinks or whatever, they could go for a few thousand or more.
Is that because I imagine you got firms like this, maybe even bots scanning these records. I imagine it's pretty competitive. It's not often that you probably see like a premium domain that just expires and no one renews it, or there's not other bidders.
Like actually, like if we're talking about premium domains that expiring, it always goes through the manual process. We're checking like if we need to keep it or not, and also we have to follow all the ICANN rules and everything, because there is some restrictions about like if you can actually keep it or you have to actually delete it and other things. So like so legal things also are there. But right now we're building a new system that doing automatic appraisal of domain names. Based on the keywords, history of the purchases, similar domain names, how many domain zones it's taken this name, and other things. And this appraisal tool actually already available on one of our services. It's called dig.ua, dig.ua. And on that service, you can already appraise any domain that you own, or any someone's domain, and first appraisal is free. And this system we're connecting to NicNames, to nic.ua. Oh, by the way, I didn't tell you guys like my background like on all the registrar business. So nic.ua is our main company, main business. It's the largest registrar in Ukraine, nic.ua. And we are on this market for 25 years now. So we started in 2001. Yeah, so we are not only registrar, we're also registry in Ukraine. We're managing a few domain extensions in Ukraine as a registry. Yeah, and clients will on nic.ua and nicknames will be able to see appraisal, AI appraisal, of course, for their names, to understand if they need to renew the domain, or it's not worth to renew, or if they want to sell it, they have an idea like how much it costs. Yeah, because some clients actually don't have an idea how much this domain could cost. It could be some trashy domain, but they want $10,000 for that, but it's worth like, I don't know, 500 max. So that's also a thing that professional domainers, professional brokers, they know how to appraise domain. They know what to see, how much it could cost. But if it's a regular customer who just sitting on like 5 beautiful names, they just don't know how to appraise them. They don't even know how to place them on the market. So that's a thing we're trying to make easier for our customers.
It's important. I wasn't even aware of this until actually last Doma OnAir. We had David Costello from the owner of smoothie.com, which they just recently launched smoothie.com on Doma. I believe it just graduated from the bonding curve earlier this week. And he shared, I wasn't aware that GoDaddy had, for the longest time, had capped put like a ceiling on their appraisal site. You know, a lot of consumers familiar with GoDaddy, you know, will frequent GoDaddy, and he educated me on there. Historically, they would, they wouldn't appraise a site for over 10K, and it's just wild to think that for an industry that's as big and mature as domains are, that it took so long to get some quality appraisal software, like you said, like for the non-professionals, for people like the normal folk like myself. I go on and looking at a domain or want to sell a domain, like to get a good idea of what is a fair price. Having a tool like that is, I would imagine, very valuable. But
and know why GoDaddy has appraisal for their domains for all the customers? Just because they want to show something, so their domain worth something, so people renew them. They not doing actual appraisal. They just showing you a random number that don't have anything with the real world, like nothing. Like they appraised some of my domains that I was just for test. I was registering for just to test to see how their system works. Something with like test 1, 2, 3, and they appraised it for $2,000. Like what? So it's like, it's bullshit. So they don't have good appraisal tools. They just pretty big registrar, big company, and this is one of the marketing tools that they're using. Just to
I mean, it makes sense hearing you talk about it. I never thought of it that way, but yeah, it definitely makes sense. They want something, so you click hit renew, and they get their $9.99 or $29.99, whatever the annual renewal is, instead of letting it expire. But yeah, not a lot of not very robust, to say the least. I mentioned I mentioned smoothie.com just launched. It did hit the bonding curve. Current market cap 47, done almost 500,000 in volume. FDV is 325,000 with those tokens in supply and people already creating some subdomains. I'm curious, what was your first impression of Doma, of the platform itself?
I mean, I was one of the people who launched one of the first domains on Doma, and I made money immediately with that domain, and it's still trading. It's still on top 10 or something. And as a domain investor, I see pretty big potential there because, like, I put this domain. So this domain could have been in my portfolio, just laying there doing nothing, right? So like maybe like making some click advertisement, like money or something like that. But when I put it on Doma, it made immediately from the first day like $4,000 or $5,000 from the first day on the launch day, and it's still making money, a couple thousand a month. So it's basically a very good investment that working for me. And it could be still sold on Doma or on other marketplaces. And just if it will be sold, all the holders of the shares of this domain will get their share. So it's amazing. And by the way, I just went to dig.ua and I put smoothie.com appraisal. And if you want, you can share the screen and you can just go to the dig.ua, smoothie.com, and switch to appraisal tab. And you will see estimated value and explanation of why it's worth this amount. So let me see if you can do it.
Looks like anyone who got in that token's in on a deal. The current estimated value is 700K. Gives a range of 300K to 1.25 million. Length, keywords, premium TLD, brandability all score very well. And then it even gives a description as to why it's a strong domain, why it might be valued at that. And yeah, that was literally, like you said, I just typed in smoothie.com, clicked appraisal, and it populated all that pretty quickly. And like I said, not that it's what I say, the FDV was about half of that currently, the current token price. And I, having talked to David last week, I don't think he has any plans to sell it for 300K or 350K, maybe at the 700K mark or 1.25. But to your point, not only did you make money when you launched it, you're making money monthly, you still own the controlling stake in the domain, right? I assume what did you tokenize, like 20% of the equity in your domain, or what?
I think I did 40%.
40? Okay.
So, but I still hold 60%. And yeah, so like if it's very expensive domain like this one, like smoothie.com, I would probably fractionalize like 10-20%, not more, because it still has big potential to sell this domain. And yeah, so like I think people who holding some very beautiful names and they're just laying around like doing nothing, I think the tokenization and fractionalization for those names, it will be a very good deal, because basically they pay for themselves to renew, to make some money every month and stuff like that. Maybe you don't even need to sell it anymore,
Right, exactly. And we could go on and on about the other perks and benefits, but it really does seem like kind of a no-brainer, especially if it's I was going to say if it's a domain that's not currently being used or they're not building a business out on it yet. But even in that case, if you're not giving up the controlling stake, you could continue to develop and build it. And I'm excited to see more and more come out of these subdomains as well. I think there is something special when you talk about not necessarily crowdsourcing, but just bringing so many community together under a particular brand and or a domain, and what ideas can they come up with to help grow the eyeballs on the domain, potentially build businesses on even a subdomain. By the way, if you've not been to Doma recently, a nice little refresh on their on the Discover tab. You can check out smoothie.com on there, see other trending domains, and if you see any that you're interested in, you simply click through it and buy right from the site. Hightech.xyz seems to be running today. Let's back to actually before we go back to or dive deeper into nicknames. So I assume most of our people here at Doma OnAir have been here for maybe not their first episode, but if you're new or just hearing about Doma, or that's the first time you've seen that site, just to, I guess, level set or remind everyone, Doma is the first DNS compliant blockchain built for DomainFi, and turning these domains into real RWAs, real world assets. I don't know why it's such a tongue twister for me. Purpose built to bring hundreds of millions of domains on chain and unlock liquidity in the multi-$100 billion domain market by bridging existing DNS infrastructure with chains like Solana, Base, Avalanche, and more. Doma lets registrars tokenized client domains, list them across Web3 marketplaces, and plug into passive income, lending, and fractionalized ownership. Now, for registrars, the pitch is, integrate once, distribute everywhere, stay DNS compliant while giving Web3 style monetization and liquidity. That's the protocol layer, Doma. Now, today we're talking to someone who sits at the registrar layer and actually sees what's getting registered, what's getting renewed, what's getting dropped, what's getting built on. So talk to me about NicNames. Can you give us a NicNames kind of a snapshot right now? Like how's things going? What's the sentiment like from your customers? What is the I guess the glimpse into NicNames at a high level today?
So at NicNames, I see that people are registering a lot of different names. And if I understood the question correctly, what's the most popular right now, right? Like what people like registering, or?
Yeah, just overall sentiment. How are they feeling about, maybe just the domain space in general? How are they feeling about the whole tokenization, landscape and outlook?
So I see that the domain investors, they're still focusing on .com, .ai, so soon it will be .si and stuff like that. When new domain zones appearing, they registering immediately all the beautiful names on this new domain zones, because it's potentially very good investment if you spending $20 or $50, and then you getting beautiful name. There are chances to sell this name is much higher. And of course, if you have possibility to tokenize this domain and sell on chain, it's safer, faster, and if it's not selling, you just fractionalize it and you're making money. One of the things that we're focusing right now, we're collaborating with the domain with the registry.pay, and we accepting pre-registrations for domains.pay. And this is a very, very good extension, because if you think about it, pay as a keyword is a keyword that always was on the top 10 keywords on domain sales. So if domain contain pay in .com, for example, it's always expensive. So now we have the whole domain zone .pay, which have very, very big amount beautiful names, and we taking pre-orders right now on the website domain.pay, and you can choose like any beautiful name. You can pre-order it now, and it will be available next year around February, March, the open registration. So we will register all pre-orders in the first day when it will start registering. And all the domain investors who will actually register these beautiful names, they will be on top of the market, because they will have all these beautiful names they can sell later, and they will be able to tokenize these domains on Doma on the first day. So when we will register, we will tell them, okay, now you can tokenize and you can make more money.
Perfect. What would you say, let's say over the last 12 months, what do you think has changed the most in terms of what people are registering or what they're talking about? Is it, .pay or another, zone domain like this, or any
.ai exploding. .ai, yeah. And I was on the different conferences or also podcasts maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and I was telling people, register .ai right now, and people even domain investors oh, why? It's like bullshit. And then they see all these sales and everything. So I registered maybe 100 names, something like that. The domain.ai pretty expensive, and I was also thinking okay, I will register just beautiful ones. Yeah, so I have bunch of two-letter domains.ai and stuff like that. So,
oh wow.
I have pretty nice portfolio, and yeah. So those people who listened to me, they made a lot of money. So
what's your plans with your portfolio? Is it like hold for another year, a few years, and then come back up for air and see how the thing is, or are you planning on selling some of these in the short term?
No, of course, I'm planning to tokenize more and more these names and fractionalize. So, for example, right now, one of the next domains that will go on Doma, it will be asset.gg. It's a pretty good name, but to tokenize and fractionalize.gg, we need to go through the additional legal process, because domains.gg, they're restricted by the registry what you can do with them.
Interesting.
And right now we're figuring out legally, together with the Doma team and the NicNames team, how to put this correctly, all the agreements and everything between user who tokenize in this domain and registrar and Doma, because one of the things that is restricted in the domain.gg is that you cannot have proxy contact on the domain. You cannot have representative. You have to have actual beneficiary owner in the domain that is tokenized. So if you tokenize and put in proxy contact of Doma or anonymous contact of NicNames, it will be basically not compliant with the domain rules of .gg. So right now we're figuring out, and we're on the actual last stage of that thing. So our lawyers and Doma protocol lawyers, they talking together and everything, figuring out how to put it correctly, so there is no conflict, no problems in with domain.gg. And when you will see the asset.gg on Doma, it means we solved the problem.
Awesome. Well, appreciate your leadership. Appreciate you pushing that forward with the Doma team. So I know you brought a domain to Doma early. You tokenized a domain early. You're working with the team now to get .gg domains brought over to Doma. Anything else that you're working with Doma, or I guess in DomainFi, even at a higher level that we maybe haven't hit on yet?
Yeah, just like right now, we're launching the automatic change of name servers for tokenized domains on Doma. So if the domain was tokenized on NicNames and it's already on Doma, you will be able to just one-click change name servers to Doma, and it will change and will sign the DS records and everything. So it's on DNSSEC, work correctly on Doma name servers. So it's like technically, if you don't know what name servers are, what DNSSEC, you just don't have to do anything. You just have to click on Doma, confirm. That's it. And it will go automatically through NicNames, through the registry. Everything will be changed automatically. We supported that already, like on the test net, and right now our team together with Doma testing it on the mainnet, and I think it will go live like within the next couple of days.
Very cool.
So
Very
it's
cool.
one of the things that we're making easier for people.
Greatly appreciated. So we've mentioned AI a couple times. I want to double tap on that a little bit. Talk a little bit about AI agents, AI maybe even at a higher level, kind of the demand you're seeing there. You mentioned everyone's talking about AI domains and AI domain search and AI agents buying. You're one of the few people who's actually seen what's getting registered. Talk us through that. Have you noticed, or would you even see if an agent buys a domain? Is that something that would hit your radar, or are you able to even tell if it's a human or an agent making the purchase?
So we right now we don't know if it's agent or if it's an actual customer. But what we saw when we launched one of the promos with the Doma protocol to register domain for free with NicNames using the Doma Discord. So you have to join Doma Discord. You have to go to the channel. You have to click authorize with NicNames and get your promo code to register domain for free. In like after a few days of this, after a couple months of this promo running on Doma Discord, we realized that something is going wrong, and there was AI agents who started registering those domains. Like they registered about 10,000 domains within a few days, and we realized like, oh shit, this is actually AI agents, because they avoiding all the things, like they solving the captcha, they doing like everything like a human, but it's just impossible to have all this big amount of domains like that. So we had to like tighten a little bit our security, so it's impossible to go with the agent. So we added the agent, the captcha that agent can solve. So we decided to do that, and we had to revalidate all these 10,000 registrations. We put them through additional validation through that captcha. So we saw this problem, but because of that problem, we started thinking differently a little bit. We decided to add on nickname support for AI agents to actually register on nicknames, to actually work with nicknames as AI agent. So without needing you to hack the code, so you just go into nicknames, you just reading LLM, TXT, or whatever so what's available for the agents, and agent can actually register and use nicknames as an agent, and we know that it's an agent.
You do know. You can see on your end that's an agent.
Yeah, because we're giving AI agent just an API, so like that can use that they can use as an agent. So it's a pretty cool thing. But this is not live yet. So this is on our test server right now. So we're testing right now with our AI agent. So how the registration goes and everything. It will be live soon, and I believe that companies who will have AI agent registration, and if you will treat AI agent as a client, you will grow, because in next few years, everything will switch to AI agents, and regular customer will say, oh, I need a domain name and hosting, get it for me. And AI agent will choose the registrar, the hosting provider who has actually possibility to work with AI agents.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the future.
Do you notice anything stand out in terms of like what they're registering? Does it, like, in addition to seeing where it's coming from, are they any different buying habits than humans? Like shorter, more functional, more long tail, like weird, nonsensical? Anything jump out, or is it too early to tell?
We will see it a little bit later when it will be live, because right now it's on our test server, so it's not live yet. So, but when it will be live and we will see the actual registrations from the agents, at that point we will see the difference, like what actually they doing. But even without that, I can predict that AI agents will find for customers, for their owners, more beautiful names that are available with the beautiful keywords and stuff like that.
Tell me, because I mean, I see you have that live on NicNames. By the way, for those who don't see the screen, it's NicNames, NICNAMES, no K, NicNames.com. I see you've got an AI search built into your search bar. You could just type in regular domain, hit search, or you can use the AI search, which, just reading the description, says, unleash the power of AI to find unique, available, and relevant names for your business. You will instantly get the best available domain names using our AI search. What does that look like? On the back end, I type in a domain and hit AI search. What does that do differently than just hitting the regular search button do?
Yeah, when you click on the regular search button, you have the same search as GoDaddy or any other registrar, so it's just your word and availability. But if you click in AI search, it's finding similar names, names that relevant to your search. You can put, instead of keyword, you can put a description of your business, and it will find domains for you. And we went further. We also added AI search through all the premium names that we have in our database. If you will go to products premium search, premium names, products, and then here you see that we have 15 million domain names that available to register immediately. And here it's a premium inventory from all the registries that we're working with. And if you want to find like actually beautiful name that is not super expensive, this is where you have to look for.
Interesting. Very cool. Well, exciting stuff. And I got, even though this is exciting and it's cool to see where we're already today, I really do feel like it's got to be like top of the first inning, just getting started. I know you were working, we were talking a little pre-show, if you don't mind, unrelated to NicNames.com, but talking about, I guess related indirectly about your podcast and what you're utilizing AI for. If we, do you mind sharing that first of all? I should have asked before the show, but is that public? Do you mind?
Yeah, it's public. But first, I want to say something that also available at NicNames, and we see change of user behavior. So we launched, we were first registrar on the market because it was like almost 2 years ago. We launched AI agent that help you to manage your domains. So register your domains, manage your domains. And what we see that right now, maybe like 90% of our customers, instead of going to the domain settings, they just asking our AI, point my domain to Google, and AI will ask Google Workspace or Google something else, like, and it will just put your records in the domain, or like point my domain to Shopify, and our AI agent, okay, done, that's it. So, and we see that a lot of people, they just not using actual settings of the domain, they just asking AI to do that. So, and some other competitors, our competitors just launched also their versions of that, but we were first.
I love it. I mean, it's kind of where I was gonna get towards is what do you see coming down the road? Like, what is AI changing? I wanted to hit on your, and we still can hit on your podcast and how you're doing that. But yeah, it's like, go ahead.
Yeah, so the podcast part. So we before we had the podcast that I was recording in Ukrainian for the Ukrainian market regularly, but it was like maybe 1-2 times a month because you need to find time and everything. But then we just cloned my voice using 11 Labs, the professional version of the voice cloning. And my marketing team in Ukraine, they just created the script of the podcast, and they're recording podcast every week in Ukrainian language, and our customers listen it on any podcast platform that's available for them. And it's pretty cool. It's saving a lot of time, and we actually have this marketing going on around podcast and explaining different things, like some podcasts explaining like how DNSSEC works, how other things works on the domain names, or how AI influence domain names and other things. And it's saving me a lot of time because my marketing team just doing it for me, and I just have to listen it and like, okay, I'm like, it sounds good, okay, publish it, that's it. Yeah, and AI reshaping everything, and we already see that people stopping using tools like Wix or like WordPress or other things. They're using AI now. So they asking AI to create website, to create some other things. They're using Cloud Code. More advanced users using Cloud Code. Less advanced users, they're using something like Base 44 or something like that, and they're just creating websites directly with AI. And in couple of years, it will be must-have feature for any domain registrar or hoster to create this website with AI. We're also working on that. We didn't launch it yet, like this tool that creates for you websites or landing or whatever, but we're going that way too. Yeah.
So as you like thinking about that a couple years out, how do you, and maybe it's already happening today, because it's not just .ai domains or now .si, it's not just having an AI search feature on your site or having agents help set up a website. How is this changing how you look at, like, from an investor standpoint, from your portfolio of domains that you're holding? How has it changed, like, what you're targeting other than like the .ai or .si? What sort of domains is it changed, or is it just, do you think it continues on just more of the same? It's just going to be more efficient and you're just going to have agents looking for this stuff versus humans? But I have to think there's going to be in the journey, in the flow, where maybe people are being directed by way of these LLMs or APIs and not so much a Google search. Like, how is it changing how you're thinking about domains from an investability standpoint?
So what I see, when it was explosion of NFTs, like a couple years ago, all domains that contained NFT was registered, like everywhere, like especially .com and some other .io, like .tech, for example. Yeah, so like anything relevant to tech with NFT, everything was taken. But then it became less popular, and now these domains mostly not renewing that well because NFTs are not popular anymore. So what's happening with AI? A lot of people registering domains that contain different keywords related to AI agent, like agents, agentic. I even registered the domain boringagent.com, for example. So for
Good.
some boring tasks, and it sounds pretty cool. But in the future, AI will be also less relevant. Same what happened with NFTs. And what also I see that AI startups right now, they're using mostly domains.ai, and they are a little bit cheaper than domains.com, and it's easier to buy, easy to acquire. But when this AI startup becoming more and more popular, they have more money, they buy in .com and they switch into .com. So it's still a thing. .com is still a thing, and if you having pretty good domains.com with the relevant keywords in the AI space, you still sitting on money. Yeah, so you still can sell them. Yeah, it's what I see right now. But you will see later that AI will be less and less popular because it will shift some other way. I don't know yet which way, but it will. Like for example, right now we have this SI, super intelligence, and it's exploding now, but also it will be relevant for next few years, and then it will go down also like other things. And domain.com is a king. Like it's always popular because it's limited supply. Like when it's limited supply, it's more expensive, like Bitcoin, right? So and domain.com, I can just compare it to Bitcoin, because it has a lot of potential to be more and more and more expensive.
Totally get it. I wonder, I guess from your vantage point, we talk about all these domains getting registered, whether it's .ai or even a .com or anything in between. Do you have visibility into like, or have a guess on a percentage of how many of these domains that get registered actually get built on? How they develop an actual site or they build an app on it? Even like are we talking like 5%, 50%, 90%? What would you, or maybe the exact number, but what's a roundabout or a range of how often a website gets registered and then something actually gets built on top of it?
So if you're talking about the whole market, not one registrar, so I would estimate that between 30-40% domains have something there. So it could be email, it could be website, it could be redirect somewhere, and something like that. And about, I would say, like 60%, they just registered, they're just sitting without anything. So just even some of them even don't have name servers or records to point to anything. So it's approximately what I see, but I could be wrong because I didn't analyze it like precisely. But it's approximately what I see. But if you're talking about our registrar, we have mostly end customers. We don't have too many domain investors. That's why our percentage is much higher. So like much more domains that registered through NicNames or NIC.UA, they actually pointed somewhere. They actually working for the client. And also I see.
Go ahead.
Yeah, also I see if it's promotional names that people registering for $1 or $2, like for first year, those domains probably about like 30% they actually renew in next year. Everything else will be dropped, or it was registered for some, I don't know, email spam or something like that.
Do you think tokenization changes how people think about renewals and pricing and whether to sell or renew or not?
I think if domain was tokenized, the chances of renewal is much higher because what we see when person spends some time to set up anything on the domain name, the chances of renewal, they skyrocketing right away. So if it was tokenized, or if email was added, or some park page or something like that, most likely it will be renewed.
Makes sense. For our audience, appreciate everyone who's tuned in today. I see if you have any questions, feel free to drop those in the chat. If we have some time here, we're running up close to the top of the hour, but if we have some time, we'll do our best to get any and all questions answered. Feel free to drop those in either the YouTube or the X chat, and we'll see that we get them answered. But I want to, you taking back to the, the personal angle here, as a, not only an operator, but been in this game for decades and have a portfolio, as a co-founder of a major registrar, do you personally own today still any, like, you have a unique or favorite? I mean, you mentioned a few there in passing. Does anything jump out like, this is my favorite name, this is my grail, or this is, one that you'll just have no desire to sell because you think it's up only for perpetuity? Do you have a favorite domain?
Yes, I do have favorite domain. It's my one of my rarest names. It's a gexi.com, GEXI.com. It's our AI system that we're building actually for domain and registrars, for hosting providers, and a little bit later it will be for anyone who has any business. It's a system that working with the clients. So it's like, I will not promote too much, but this domain is my favorite domain because I was able to acquire, like, I was in negotiation maybe like 2 years, something like that. It was the Chinese seller, and I was able to acquire this domain for reasonable price. And I'm very proud of that part because it's a 4-letter domain.com, and it's very good for AI project. And first I bought Gexi.ai, but then when I was able to get Gexi.com, I was like, wow, that's a cool thing. But right now, as a like, my favorite names that I'm focusing on right now is domains.pay, because I already pre-registered for myself some domains that will skyrocket in the price, and they will be tokenized in the first day, as I said. And actually, I want to do the little surprise. After this podcast, I will create the promo code DOMA, DOMA, on domain.pay. When you will use promo code DOMA, you will have $20 discount.
Oh, wow.
So I think $20 discount is a pretty good discount for any pre-order for domains.pay.
Heck yeah, appreciate that. And just to reiterate that, if you missed it, use promo code DOMA, DOMA, and you'll get $20 off a .pay domain. Pretty, and this domain.pay to get there. You'll see powered by NicNames, and they're pre-ordering this, right? Did you said about a year out, or when do you expect?
The open registration will be in February, March 2027. So right now we're taking pre-orders. And if you placed pre-order, we're not taking the same pre-order from another person. It will say that we already have pre-order. So we don't want to have any conflicts. So if you pre-ordered, it's yours, basically.
No duplicates. If you pre-order now, it's just as good as registering the actual domain, which will come late spring next year.
Yeah, and it will be available to tokenize on the first day on Doma protocol, because there is any blockers for this extension, and it will have a lot of beautiful names because it's just starting. And it's the registry is Amazon, so Amazon registry launched this name, and we like working with them. And actually, if you have trademark, you have, I think, 1 or 2 days left to claim your domain.pay with the trademark.
Okay.
So yeah.
Very good to know. Good. Yeah. So don't delay. If you got a trademark, get on it. Get on
Today.
it since we got this call. Use that promo code DOMA. One thing we haven't hit on yet, but I think you probably heard it at Dominion, but they're launching DAVs, or domain asset vehicles, tokenizing entire premium domain portfolios into a single asset, which will enable shared ownership, programmatic upside, unlocking inaccessible capital. I think we'll get more details on DAVs in the near future. But can I ask, is that something they're planning to launch these on Solana? Is that something? Are you considering bringing over a bucket of your domains to put in a DAV, or maybe participate in others, or any? And not try to put you on the spot, so no comment is an acceptable answer. But since we have you, I'm just curious your thoughts on that.
I already had a few conversations on the Dominion with the Doma team about this tool. And one of the things that I offered to Doma protocol is that nicknames can create bulk tokenization. So it's so for example, you have 10 domains on nicknames, and you can just select all of them and tokenize with one click on Doma. And I think it's one of the things that will help to bring those big portfolios on Doma protocol, because they still have to be tokenized, those domains, right? So if Doma protocol, if Doma, they have different idea about this, like maybe it will work differently. But from my perspective as a registrar, to activate this possibility to tokenize domain portfolio, you basically need to implement bulk tokenization. So our team can do it easily, but we're still kind of talking like if we need to do it or not. So we'll see it a little bit later.
I love it. I love it. Well, looking forward to it. I'm excited as an investor, not nearly an investor. I don't have a big portfolio, maybe a few dozen domains, but being able to get access to, I think of like an index fund almost of premium domains. It makes a lot of sense for me. And I got to imagine there's probably a lot of others who are aware of domains, aware of the opportunity, but yet feel like if I just go myself onesie twosie and try to compete, I feel like I'm either got to get lucky or hit on one at the right time, or or pay a premium, out of the jump. And not that I expect a deep discount, but getting exposure across several premium domains is exciting to me from someone who's got a very small domain portfolio today. I look at that as a way of growing that that bucket in my portfolio. I will see if you have any questions, kind of final call, drop those in the chat now. We will do our best to get all of them answered, though. Running up, just hit 2 o'clock here. So I got 2 more questions for Andriy here, and then we'll give you the mic for any final thoughts or closing words. Just a couple quick, right off, first thing that comes to your mind. What's the most interesting thing happening in domains right now?
The most interesting thing is that I see that domain business will not go down with AI, because with AI we see that a lot of businesses will actually close, right? So like some businesses will not exist anymore. For example, domain website builders, they will die basically, or they will have to switch to a different model. But domain name registrar business will grow, because every AI, every tool will need a domain. Every new website that built with AI will need domain. Every AI that want to identify itself on network will need a domain. So I see this is very exciting, and I think it's changing, and we should see domains a little bit differently. Before, domain names were resolving IP addresses. Now domain names will resolve addresses on chain, AI agents, and some other things.
Absolutely. Yeah, it hit me. Someone, I can't remember who first said it, but it's like there was, I think it was at Dominion. Someone was talking about how the idea of like apps used to be, you had to have an app. If you were building a business, you had to have an app, and websites were like, you probably have one, but it could just be a simple landing page, or it's not as important as an app. And it's almost come full circle, but now back to domains are really from a digital standpoint. If you're building a business, building a brand, you got to have a website. And you may not even have to need an app anymore, nowadays. Like, it's just most of the internet activity they're going to websites first. And I think building with this agentic future in mind, I agree. Domains seem to be just like the pool of buyers, and people talk, there's gonna be a single person business that's going to become a unicorn business and grow to $1 billion in revenue with just a single employee. I think yes, we'll see smaller, leaner teams build businesses and grow brands. I think there's also this future where you have almost like self-perpetuating agents that just go, right. They maybe start as where we are today, but I could see a future where you've got agents that are going out there and autonomously building brands, building businesses. And
I see already agents who hiring. I see already agents who hiring people to deliver something, for example, or to do something that AI agent cannot do. So, and they actually place an order on marketplace for people and paying for them for some tasks. So this is just starting right now, and it will be more and more crazy.
What a time to be alive. What last question for you, and then I'll hand it back to you for anything we didn't hit on today you're hoping to talk about. But what's one thing you think founders still get wrong about naming?
They still have to think about the name, how the user will type it, how the user will remember it, and it always has to be something easy to remember, easy to pronounce, easy to spell. but also with AI agents, it will be a little bit less, because AI agents, they they can understand people's mistakes or different spellings, but still startups have to think about branding, and they have to think for beginning from the domain name. So if they found the beautiful name, only after that they have to register company, trademark, and everything else, not otherwise. If you registering your trademark or registering company before domain name, you sometimes just fucked.
Do you think it's increasingly important that the domain is descriptive, or maybe not descriptive, but not a made up word? This is maybe a bad example because everyone today knows what Google is, but like Google or Yahoo, before they became what they are today, they were just random words. Whereas something like smoothie.com, very descriptive. We an AI agent, an LLM is going to know what smoothie.com is versus 5 random letters that someone's creating a brand out of that doesn't have any meaning in the current world. Am I overthinking that, or do you agree that more descriptive or more not as odd or just random names is maybe more important in this agentic world?
It depends what you're registering for. So if it was, for example, 5 years ago, descriptive names were super popular for search engine optimization. Right now, it's less and less and less popular because Google AI agents and everything becoming more and more smarter. And even if you have, pizzarestaurant.com, Google will analyze what's actually on that website and only will show you if you're actually relevant. Before, it was matching just a name, and that's why right now it's like less and less relevant. So and actually on smoothie.com, you can launch AI agent that called smoothie, it's not necessarily smoothie as a product. It could be AI agent that called smoothie. Hey smoothie, go do something for me, right? And it could be very, very different things. And very important right now to have the name that is easy to remember, easy to spell, easy to pronounce, and very important what you have on the website. If you have correct keywords, if you have all this SEO requirements followed, because if it's followed, in this case, search engines and AI agents will find you. And right now, for AI agents, you also have to create LLM TXT on the website to explain AI agent what this website about, what you can use, which tools, and everything like that. Without that, AI agent will not know your website.
Yep. That is I mean, the world is changing fast, and I feel like it's only going to continue to accelerate. But working with individuals like yourself that understand not just the domain space, but how and where AI is playing into this, I think it really can help. In some cases, be a shortcut for users, and others help maybe avoid some mistakes or some roadblocks that they might just trial and error on their own end. Andriy, is there anything we haven't hit on today? Anything you were hoping to talk about? Anything you want to share with the audience before we let you get out of here?
I think we covered everything. I just want to remind that promo code DOMA will be available in 30 minutes or something like that after this live stream. Not immediately, because I need to set it up. I promised it. And pretty much I think that's it. We're really excited to work with DOMA protocol as a probably only registrar who fully integrated with DOMA. And we have thousands of extensions that working with DOMA, and we are the largest. We have the largest portfolio of extensions that you can tokenize from any other registrars that working with DOMA protocol. And we support self-service, and name servers will work in a couple of days also automatically, and everything like that. So, and if anyone have any problems with tokenization or how something works, just shoot us email to support@nicknames.com and we will solve your problem.
Perfect. Ryder did have a quick question. He was wondering if you're going to have any plans to introduce direct wallet payment. If he wants to renew a domain but kept asking me to deposit to nicknames first, is that on the roadmap at all?
Yes, it's actually on the roadmap, and we're working right now with the lawyers. We're figuring out if we need the financial license for that or not,
Okay.
because we do support custodial wallets, and right now we use these custodial wallets for domain tokenization. But if we will activate them to receive money, we want to first legally figure out like what legally we need to do first to play safe. Like we can activate it today, but it may be not legal.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
button things up, doing it the right way.
But yeah, this is on the roadmap, definitely.
Okay, awesome. Good to know. Good to know. Well, Andriy, really appreciate you. Again, NicNames.com, NicNames.com, NIC.UA, Web2 and Web3 registrar, 20 years plus in the domain trenches. Thank you very much for giving us the registrar side of the story. Also, don't forget to go hit domain.pay, get your .pay domains registered, use that code DOMA to get $20 off, but give him check in this evening, and that discount code will be live. Give it a couple hours or so, let him get time to get it set up. And yeah, really enjoyed the conversation. I'm blown away each and every time where just respected industry leaders, industry OGs like yourself are not only continuing to build after decades in the space, but so open to working with and collaborating with Doma. It gets me excited from kind of, I guess, an outsider or maybe newer to this industry. It gets me excited about the industry at large, where it doesn't come across as cutthroat or it's not a zero-sum game. It really is like the leaders in the space working together to push the space forward, bring us into the future. And some of this stuff, it really is novel, right? Like there's AI. I know AI has been around for a while. .ai has been around for a while, but it's really been within the last year or two that all these capabilities have unlocked. And thinking all that we discussed today is probably, it's probably flipped upside down, or there's 10 times more like new things or different ways to approach domains and just the internet at large. And really appreciate yourself and the other leaders in the space that are solving these problems, taking the big swings. And like I said earlier, what an exciting time to be alive. So really appreciate your time today. Really thoroughly enjoyed the conversation, and hopefully look forward to seeing you at Dominion 2027.
Yeah, I will be there for sure. And thank you for inviting. And it was a very good conversation. I enjoyed it a lot. And yeah, thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. And thanks everyone who tuned in today. Again, reminder, if you haven't already, go hit that follow button, subscribe, give us a follow on X, Doma Protocol. Oh, let me do that. What other, we gave your domains, NicNames.com and domain.pay. Where can people find you? Do you want to give a shout out to your podcast or your X or Twitter? Anywhere else? Where would you want someone to follow up with you after the show?
Actually, on NicNames.com it's the best place where you can connect with us. And for some reason, X blocking our accounts all the time. So we already had maybe 5 accounts, and they just blocking. I don't know why, what's happening. But yeah, so we don't have X account, but we have NicNames.com. And also, if you will join Discord on Doma, you can get free domain from NicNames on Discord.
There you go. Discord on Doma Protocol. Go drop in the Discord. Go get your domain.pay domains registered today. Hit all the buttons, the like, the subscribe. Don't park your domains. Go put them to work. Doma.xyz, NicNames.com, and we'll be back again soon. This is episode 9 of Doma on Air, and we'll be back here in a week or two and continue the conversation. But thank you all for tuning in today. Andriy, thank you very much. Really appreciate your time, and congrats and best of luck as you continue to grow NicNames.
Thank you, and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Buying domains was slow, Doma changing the game. One bridge, one standard, now the systems move the same. Registrar stay central, keep the trust and control. DNS and compliance, still they play the key role. Traded on chain, let new markets arise. Domain value unlocked. Welcome to Domain Fi.